Hello everyone, this is Shubham Divakar over here and I welcome you all to the lead coding series wherein we solve lead code challenge questions. And the question that I have today is sort array by parity 2. Alright, so moving ahead with the question. The question is given an array A of non-integers, non-negative integers, half of the integers in A are odd and half are even. Okay, so sort the array so that whenever A of I is odd and I should also be odd, and whenever a of I is even, I should be even. Okay, so the question basically tells is like, let's say we have 4, 5, 2 and 7. So the thing is we have to sort in such a way such that at every I which is even, okay, we have ai even, and at every I which is odd we have a of I to be odd. Like for in this case, this is first position, this is second position, this is third, this is fourth. So at fourth position we have 7. Okay, and this is odd, so this should not be there. No, it's 0 1 2 3. Okay, so it's from 0 indexing, I guess. Yeah, so 0 is an also an even number, so 0, we have 4, so that would be the correct. But at 1 we have 2, so that should not be there. Rather there should be an odd number over here, so 5 can be here, 7 can be here. Okay, we can see multiple instances, so any one of these would be accepted. So now basically see, the question is simple and what we have to do is we'll do a brute force approach. All right, see, let's say we have this 4, 7, 5 and 2. So this is 0 index, this is 2, and this is third index. This is index and this is the array elements, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start scanning from this side. Okay, I'll take 2 pointers. This is I'll take 2 pointers. First is P1 and I'll take second pointer which is P2. Now P1 is for even and P2 is for odd, so I'll start P1 from 0 and P2 is odd, so I'll start P2 from 1. This is start from 0, this will start from 1. See, what I will do is let's first deal with all the, let's first scan through the array and see at what are positions we have elements which are at all the I positions which are even, but at those positions we don't have even elements. Okay, so this P1 should be always looking for I which is even, so I will always be iterating as I plus equal to 2. So from 0 it will move to 2 and 2 it will move to 4. Okay, if we have 4 then it will move over there. We will first check at P of 0, we have even element. All right, so we'll do P of I is equal to P of I plus 2. Okay, so that would be 2. At 2 we have the first we have 5 which is odd number, so we'll stop over here. Okay, I moved to P1 2 and I stopped over here, and this is odd, so now I move to P2. Okay, now what I'll do is I found a position for P1 at which I should be having an even element, and now what I have to do is I have to swap this 5 with some even element. Okay, now what this some event now what this other element which I have to swap it, which will be even, should be, okay, now that position, that element will be either the element already present beside it or some element which is not on the correct place. Okay, so this means that at some index, at odd index, okay, we have an element which is even. So let's scan and find that. So for P2 we'll start scanning from here and we'll check at which odd position I have an even element. So at this position I have an odd element, it's fine, it will move to 3. This will also jump at the jump plus 2 positions every time. So at 3 this will check, and we have 2 over here, right? So this A of 3 is 2, which is odd, right, which is even. So now I have at P1 and P2 I have 2 positions at which I first found the occurrence of, I mean for P1 I should be having the even element and for P2 I should be having odd element, but we don't have that because at P1 we have odd and at P2 we have even. So we are going to swap these two. Okay, so what we will do is we are simply going to swap these two. So now I'll have 2 over here and now I'll have 5 over here, and as you can see this is the answer. So 4725 can be one of the answers. 47, okay, 4725, yeah, 4725, yeah, 4725. So 4725 is one of the answers. Okay, So the thing is, what we basically need to do is we simply need to start scanning from here, and whenever we find an irregularity for even as well as odd, we need to stop the scanning and simply need to swap, and then we can proceed and keep on doing that. Okay, so let's code that part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a dot length. Okay, I had to have two pointers, so pointer 1, which is for even, start from 0, and pointer p2 will start from 1, right? So okay, so while p1 is less than n, we should not cross the upper, like the size of the array should not be crossed, right? So while p1 less than n, now what we need to do over here is we need to scan for all the even values or even indexes of I with for p1. So okay, while p1 is less than n, as well as, so we just in this part we are scanning from p1 equal to 0 up till p1 less than n. We will scan if a of p1 modulo 2 should be equal to 0. So this loop will run until we encounter all the even values at even indexes, and at the position when we find an odd element, this will stop, and this is what we have to swap it with. This is what is the irregularity which we need to swap it with the other counterpart. Okay, so if this is true, what I need to do is p1 plus equal to 2. Okay, now same thing we need to do for the odd indexes, so this will be p2. This should also be p2, this should also be p2, right? So now we need to, now we have, now let's say at some position, like in the example 4 5 to 4 to 5 7, at these two positions we have irregularity, so we have the indexes of these two at p1 and p2, so simply we need to swap p2. But before swapping, we need to check whether if p1 is less than n as well as p2 is less than n. Okay, so next we need to swap int temp is equal to a of e1. Oh yeah, a of p1 is equal to a of p2, and and a of p1 is equal to temp. No, a of, yeah, a of temp was a of p1. A of p1 is equal to a of p2, so a of p2 will be equal to temp. Okay, and then this is the end of the while loop. We simply need to return a now. So let's run and check this part. Okay, so here we have a problem. This should be not equal to 0 because we have to check for odd. p2 will be for odd and p1 will be for even. So I guess this should do. Yeah, as you can see, this is success. So we have solved this problem. Yeah, so this was a very naive approach using two pointers, but yes, it did work, right? So thank you guys, thank you for watching, and stay tuned to our channel, and please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.